He's like, I may not understand your culture, but I do think you'd be holding that baby incorrectly. Oh, she's a Beyblade. Yo, that had to be a clean cut. So we cut this man clean in two, and all that happens is we lose an arm. He's like, this shit, I'm done with kids. I'm going back to being a bachelor in the shadowy mountains. We really need to take a minute to appreciate the fact that blood, sweat, and tears went into this latest episode of Clevatess. And even if you didn't know of kind of what went into this episode, it should be pretty clear. Like, this show in general has been going back to, like, an old 80s, 90s mentality and crafting something that felt like it was pulled from the history books, but upgraded in all the best ways. And I have to give a massive shout out to a certain user on Reddit, because I had no idea this was the case, and hell, this could all turn out to be bullshit, and I would still rave about this episode just as much. But seriously, apparently one guy is pretty much responsible for this episode. So I want to make sure I don't get any of this wrong. So Iruran on Reddit said, was a solo key animated, storyboarded, and directed, and corrected by Hironori Tanaka all by himself. Like, that is... I mean, here's the thing. The episode did feel a little different. And there was a couple of shots I thought to myself felt a little sloppier than usual. But then there was like a majority of the episode there I was like, damn, like look at these keyframes. And the fact that a guy was able to pull that off by himself basically is insane work. The anime community does not deserve what we're getting. Even in good circumstances, I don't think the absolute passion we're witnessing is something we should expect, but we should just appreciate as being given to us. But given how many people are still sleeping on one of the best shows this year's, absolutely, the anime community does not deserve the quality we're getting, but I thank them so much for giving it to us, because this is an absolute masterpiece. You make sure to drop a like though, share support on this video, subscribe if you happen to be new around here, and Patreon's where you catch my full live reactions on all these episodes and more if you want to help fund the channel. So, this was a kind of crazy episode. They pulled the rug from underneath our feet in a pretty clever way. So in the ED, there's a book. But here's the thing, EDs and books, that's a pretty common thing. Had no idea it was going to be connected to the furnace. So, the Book of Tor, right? So, basically, the furnace's big dark secret is a book. And if you really take a couple steps back and you look at the concept of some dark god living in the mountainside, he was chilling, doing his thing, and went on a completely new quest because of a book. Has that happened before in media? Sure. But the concept of a god who wanted nothing to do with humanity, wanted nothing to do with anything, getting his life turned upside down because of a goddamn book. You almost feel the secondhand embarrassment in a way. And the way they end this episode is essentially him saying, screw you guys, I'm going home. He pulls an Eric Cartman. He's like, I'm done with this bullshit. And to be honest, I can't even say I blame him. Now, is it actually going to happen like that? To be honest, I actually think it has a chance. Not that I think the story would actually end there, but if the author did go the route of this thing just leaving and going back to the mountainside, and them having to drag him away once again, that could be an arc. Personally, I do expect that something's going to happen with Alicia. I mean, given everything that was happening with Dorel, he's probably getting pulled back. Personally, I thought the kid was going to reach out, say some things, you know, cry or whatever, and he would immediately turn around. It looks like the kid is not enough to keep him there at this point. Maybe Nell, I don't know. But I can understand where he's coming from and the frustration. Like, he never wanted anything to do with humanity. So learning about true humans and the ashes burning in the furnace, he's like, you know what? I'm out. I'm gonna go back and do my thing. You know what I mean? I can respect it in a lot of ways, because it's like, this ain't my problem anymore. And to be honest, from everything we know about these dark gods, like, they don't involve themselves in anything that isn't directly something they care about. So if he's no longer caring about this, yeah, he's out and he's just gonna go back and protect his mountainside, because that's what he does. Though there's so many little plot points that I want to see more of, because I thought to myself, if Clint as a character continued to travel with this baby, there's no reason to suspect that the baby's mother would let us keep the kid around. Unless she thought it would be safer with them, and as long as she doesn't think this is a dark god, I mean, it's possible Alicia could argue that fact, or she dies. Death is currently the thing that I think is most likely at this point, but honestly, I don't know. Because, you know, the king, the grandpa, burns himself, tried to burn the kid too. There's one funny moment in this episode. Well, there's a lot of funny moments, but the idea that, just really comprehend the fact that this is a dark beast. who's not trying to crack a joke. He's legitimately being like, I don't know a lot about humanity, but I don't think that's how you hold a baby. Because the king was like holding him like he's like some pail or something. It's just like, okay. The way they can make me laugh at some of the dumbest shit, because it's not like they're trying to crack jokes, but it's just like, I don't understand humanity, but I'm pretty sure you're incorrect there. Yeah, he was, Glenn. He was, absolutely. But it's just like, for a second to last episode, I feel like I've experienced this show for 40-something episodes. Not because it's dragged, but because with the amount they've shown in 11 episodes, the quality of the narrative just from its source material is clearly second to none. It's something different and unique, and they've got across so much lore and world building. And the fact that we're approaching the finish line of its first season, and I felt like they expanded the lore even more with like the concept of what a true human is, and the ashes, and being breed. It's just, there's so much I want to learn, and I want to see what will happen with that book, if the kid reads it or what. That's all great. And then you add in the retro, old-school feeling show. Not because, oh, look at how poorly animated it is. There's only one part of the episode that I think you could argue is poorly animated. And that's when our two girls are flying, and then our big boy's also flying. And it's just like static shots, and like nothing's really happening. Those aren't great-looking shots. But then when you get two warriors throwing hands with a dark god himself, basically, because if your arm is a dragon head, you're a dark god at that point. Like, there's no other way to put it. And from what we understand, he is possessed by a dragon, so dark god feels like an accurate description. That fight, like when they do the ice javelin thing and she's up above and the clashing, it's just, the quality of the animation is insane. And the fact that single people can pull this shit off. This reminds me of some Attack on Titan. It really does. Do you remember, I think there's quite a few of these scenes. One of the scenes I can remember is the Levi rooftop scene, when he's escaping all the gunfire and shit. That was basically one person. And I think it was also when Levi was going up against the beasts and there was that line of titans. Pretty sure that was also single person who pulled that off. Like, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that episodes like these and moments like these, really, they haven't been seen since like an Attack on Titan, because it's so rare to have a talent be able to cook as much as they're doing in this way. But, you know, people will say recency bias, it's not as good, blah, blah, blah. We don't need that negativity. If you feel like you have that negativity, you can find your own furnace and take advice from what the king did in this episode. Jokes, I'm not actually telling you to do that. Don't get too salty. But anyway, this was good. We only have one episode left, and that's a shame, but I have been loving every single minute of this show. You let me know what you thought down below. What did you think of the absolute peak that we just witnessed? And if you don't think it's peak, well, you know what to do. Once again, jokes, don't take it seriously. Make sure you drop a like, share, support this video. Subscribe if you're new around here. Patreon is where you catch my full live reactions and other exclusives, like I like to give video shoutouts to my patrons. So today we got Patrick Stansky, Nathan Matthews, Charlie X, Jonathan, Romatis, Mate Major, Earl888, Austin Citizen, and we also have Nicholas Geischer. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and have a good one.